Hello and welcome to the show that can turn even the worst DIYer into a handyman or woman in just one day. On this episode of DIY Survival, I'll take you through the do's and don'ts of door maintenance. I suppose when I said pilot hole, I suppose you thought you were going to be flying off somewhere. From replacing the handles, to door security, and how to hang them. Let's meet the DIYers who'll be giving me a hand.
My name is Greg Anderson. I live with my wife and 4 children in a 5-bedroom detached house in Cobham, Surrey. We've lived in this house for about 2.5 years.
My name's Lucy Goldsack. I live here with Robert, my husband, Felicity, who is 6, and Alice, who's 4.5. The house was really dilapidated when we moved in. It hadn't been touched for about 30 years.
I'm a 2nd-generation DIY bodger. My father, when we were growing up, we used to have his janitor from his business come over to do any sort of necessary home repairs.
Of the many tasks that we have got to do around the house, I do feel that this is one that should be achievable if I was actually shown how to do it. It's hanging doors.
I'm married to a person who's very good at DIY. I sometimes assist her before she fires me. One thing I'm excited about is my wife has a new door on her laundry room. I've got the materials to put the handle on. I don't have the expertise. I have virtually no experience, and that experience I've had has been pretty traumatic.
Good morning and welcome, Greg and Lucy.
Hello.
You've got a toolbox. Well, where's yours?
This is it. You've got your work cut out for you today.
I can see trouble ahead. Come right in. I think I need a strong cup of tea and a chat with these two before I let them loose on any DIY. So obviously you do lots and lots of DIY at home.
I have the DIY ability of a cucumber.
Right, so you employ something to do all your DIY?
My wife.
Oh, that's handy.
She's very handy. I'm not.
All right, well, don't change that. I mean, I'm thinking of actually training my wife to be good at DIY, and it might give me a break at the weekends, you know?
It works for me.
Now, Lucy, your toolbox, well, there's a little bit more in yours than there is in Greg's. Oh, this looks hopeful. Putting this back on the chisel to keep it shut. No, I was a bit overly optimistic there. Look.
Not sharp enough.
This is blunt, this is no good at all, so I don't know why that's on it. You only put that on it when it's sharp. Everyone's got a great big bolster chisel for no reason. And, oh, this. Now, these are good screwdrivers, aren't they? When you want to actually screw something, that will stick in your hand. No, they're absolutely useless. Do you do lots of DIY at home?
Not at the moment, but I need to, because we recently bought a house. We've got 14 doors that need hanging and painting and locks putting on.
14 doors? Oh, you'll be pleased.
Can we do that in one day?
Well, no, not in one day, but you'll be pleased to know that your task today is actually going to be working on doors.
Oh, good.
Interesting day ahead. Right, guys, now your first task today is going to be putting door furniture on the door. Okay, now door furniture is just, don't look so puzzled, that's just a posh word for a set of door handles and a lock. And what you do is you take that piece of wood, which is a wedge, and you stick it under the door, and that stops the door moving round. That's the first tip. Measure and mark the position for your handle. Use a square to find the centre line. This is where the hole for the spindle should be. You can save yourself a lot of time and effort if you buy new handles that cover or reuse the holes left by the old ones. That way there's no need for any drilling or filling. And taking a bradawl, which is this thing, which looks like a screwdriver but it's got a point. You put that there, holding it nice and steady, and you mark the door with this bradawl, and that gives you your screw positions. Once you've marked your holes, you're ready to screw the first handle in place. A good tip is to use a spirit level to ensure that the handle stays plumb while you're fixing it. Now the handle is in place, slot the latch piece in and connect the two with the central spindle. I'm going to take this off and hand the task over to you. Do you think you got to handle that all right?
Yes.
We'll try.
Did you notice a little connection there? I said, do you think you can handle that all right? To replace the furniture on this door, Lucy and Greg will need a timber packer, a square, a pencil, a tape measure, a bradawl and a screwdriver. Okay, that's very good, you're paying full attention. Now you can put the first screw in. Fortunately for Lucy, her job's been made slightly easier because I've already made the screw hole. That's the right screwdriver. It's not cheating, Greg, just because Lucy's a girl. I'll help you as well if I have to. Very good. Now we put that back in there. Let's leave him to it while we take in some more DIY. Textured wall coverings and paint are notoriously hard to remove, so here's my simple guide on how to do it. There are two types of textured finish, resin-based and plaster-based, and you can now buy a specialist coating remover that will soften and loosen both. First, put on safety gear as the solvent stripper is extremely corrosive. You'll need gloves, a face mask, goggles, old clothes, and even an old hat if you're stripping a ceiling. You should also cover the floor with dust sheets to protect it from splashes and drips. Next, brush the solvent onto your wall or ceiling, leave it to soak for about an hour, then remove it with a scraper. If you are scraping a ceiling, you should always work away from yourself to prevent the corrosive compound falling on you. If some of the coating remains, you can carefully scrape off the rest with your scraper or use an electric sander. Once the surface is clear, you should neutralise any residual chemical by wiping it over with white spirit. And that's it, job done. Now let's see whether Lucy and Greg have managed to replace the handle and lock on that door. You've done this before.
I actually haven't, but I need to because my children managed to loosen my study door lock, so this will be very handy information to have.
Sound like my kids. Right, that's that done. Let's just check. Perfect. Now that wasn't difficult. Why don't we just have a quick recap? Wedge the door open with a timber packer so that you can work safely. Measure and mark the position of the handle. Use a bradawl to make pilot holes for the screws. Fix the first handle, position the spindle, and repeat the process with the handle on the other side. Well, so far so good, but let's see how they do with the bigger challenge after the break. Today, my two DIY recruits are getting to grips with doors. They made a good start by learning how to replace the handles. Now let's see if they can cope with a slightly more difficult task. Well guys, you passed your first test with flying colours. The second test is going to be door security. Do you have any door security at home? No.
I think we have a door chain.
Right. Well, I'm going to show you two different things. One is, as you say, a door chain, very simple to fit, and the other one is going to be hinge bolts. Now, I've drawn a line across here with the square, first of all, so we know that we're going to get this level. Okay. Now, we're going to then mark off the whole position for the screws. Then we're going to have to drill this, a little pilot drill. The strength of your security chain depends entirely on how well the chain is anchored to the door. So use the longest, heaviest screws you can find. Here we go, you just put that in. End of story. Now that didn't take long, what? 5 minutes, if that? See? Right, now the second stage of the security aspect of the front door is we're going to put these hinge bolts in. That's what a hinge bolt looks like, okay? Hinge bolts reinforce the hinges, making it more difficult for an intruder to kick the door in. And we're going to measure down between this hinge and that hinge, and the central point is where the first one's going to go. There we are. Then drill a hole the width and depth of the bolt. See this? Put that there. Okay. Can you hold it? Do you trust me now?
I'm going to.
No, go on, I'll do it. There you go, that's really nice and tight. Okay. Now a little tip is to take a magic marker and put that on there. The felt tip mark will give you the position for the receiving hole. You'll just see a little blue mark, okay? See that? I'm using a fast cutter to make the receiving hole, which is specifically designed to drill through timber. what we've got to do is this plate will go there because that will stop the door being a tight fit. The next step is to cut away this area so that the locking plate sits flush with the door frame. Now you need a really sharp chisel for this, so I won't be using Lucy's. The idea of going all round it first is so that you don't break the wood outside of that, you see.
What happens if you do cut too much out?
Well, it's going to be very expensive because now you're going to have to pay for a whole new frame, a new door, and you don't get 9 out of 10 brownie points from me. Cut around the perimeter first and make a series of cuts about 6mm apart across the grain of the wood. Then with the chisel flat side down, pare the wood away. You're only going to pilot this.
Now, what do you mean by pilot hole?
Oh yes, I do apologise, I forgot. What a pilot hole is a guiding hole, smaller in diameter than the screw.
Just to help the screw go in straight.
I suppose when I said pilot hole, I suppose you thought you were going to be flying off somewhere. The pilot holes make it much easier to screw the locking plate into position, and that's the job done. Now, you can have the honour of shutting the door and seeing if that works. Perfect.
Well done.
Okay, do you feel you confident?
I'm feeling pretty incompetent right now, but I'm willing to give it a go.
Right, lovely. Well done. I've armed Greg and Lucy with a bradawl, a drill, a pilot bit and fast cutter, a sharp chisel and a hammer. Let's see if they can make this door indestructible. Can I just stop you there, guys?
Okay.
This is the first mistake.
Okay.
Now, what you've got to do is put the bolt in the back of the door first, rather than the keep in the frame.
Okay.
Right, okay. All right, not a bad start. You're very quiet, Lucy. I don't know whether it's because
Taking it all in.
Oh, that's what it is. Or well, I don't know whether he was that or he was terrified.
My wife could see me now.
Don't worry, she soon will. So you turn around so you're comfortable with it. That's it. How was that?
I think it's in.
Jolly good. Not bad work so far. Let's leave them to it while I show you how to tackle some more DIY. A broken roof tile will let the weather in and cause long-term damage. So here's how to repair it. The first thing you need to do is get on your roof. When using long ladders, you should always bear the following safety tips in mind. Make sure the base of your ladder is resting on a firm, level, dry surface. If you need to site your ladder on a lawn, rest the base on a wooden board and tie the feet securely to stakes in the ground. Rest the top of the ladder against a solid surface, never against guttering, which is too weak to support it. You could use a stay bolted to the top of your ladder to rest on the wall, and always ensure your ladder extends at least 3 rungs beyond the roof's edge. To get the correct angle, use a simple rule of 1 measure out for every 4 measures up. And finally, never ever attempt jobs like these on your own. Now we've got that straight, you're ready to make your repair. Use wooden wedges to lift overlapping tiles above and next to the broken tile. Then try and wriggle the tile free. If the tile is hooked over the roof batten with nibs, it will come away easily. If the tile is nailed, however, try rocking it from side to side to loosen the nails. If it still won't budge, slide a hacksaw blade under the tile and saw through the fixing nails. Now you can slide your new tile into place and either hook the nibs over the roofing batten or nail the tiles into place. Remove the wooden wedges and that's it, repair done. All you need to do now is get down off the roof without breaking any more. Now let's see if Lucy and Greg have secured that door yet. But the way you're going, Greg, I think you could go straight on site, mate, and be a foreman carpenter. Are you sure you've not done this before?
I promise you I haven't.
Right, what we need now, you give me that. Who's got the screws? Lucy's got the screws. Slowly and carefully and not much of go wrong.
Well, I can say that because
I'm just relieved I'm not buying somebody a new door here.
Well, I've got to say, you know, guys, that looks pretty good.
Now for the moment of truth.
Right, who's going to close the door?
I
Lucy.
will.
Okay.
You've done a grand job.
Well, didn't they do well? A perfect fit and a secure door. Why don't we just have a quick recap and see how they did that? If you're fitting hinge bolts to your door, drill holes the width and depth of the bolts at the centre point between the hinges. Mark the bolt with a felt tip to give you the position of the receiving hole on the door frame. Drill a hole in the door frame with a fast cutter. Use a sharp chisel to cut a recess in the door frame to accommodate the locking plate. The third and final challenge is a bit of a tough one. And it's particularly useful for you because you've got 14 doors to hang, haven't you?
Yeah, it's going to take me a long while.
Well, I'm going to show you how to cut one hinge and how to set it up over there, and then you're going to have to do the rest. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay.
Right, now, this is the top of the door, so normally the top hinge is 9 down from the top and 6 up from the bottom. Inches, I'll put it in imperial for you. Alright, because of this old hinge, we're going to have to cheat this slightly. So we'll go this side of it. Now see this one, it's got 2, okay? See 2 knobs? Mm-hmm. And this side has got 3. So the side with 3 is going to carry the weight. That's the side you put on the frame. Now that makes a template. To fit these hinges, Lucy and Greg need to use the same sort of skills that I showed them for fitting the hinge bolts. Take off all the pieces of timber that you've cut the other way. See the one with the 2 knuckles in it, right? That goes on the door. Oh, look at that. That's spot on. Now what we need to do now is to use the bradawl. Now a little tip is that you don't put all 3 screws in. So we'll put in the middle one. We're only going to put 1 screw in for the moment, in case we want to make any adjustment.
Most of the time you need to make some sort of adjustment.
No, I don't. Okay. I'm just worried in case you do.
I think I would.
And I should think that Lucy, by the time she's got to number 14, should become very proficient at it, you know. Well, that's that one done. You have got to do one down the bottom, and then we'll transfer the door to the frame, and I'll show you how to get the marks onto the frame, and then you've got to cut that. Don't tickle it, especially on the cross grain. Hit it, give it a definite tap. Ooh, that was very, very close to my fingers. Right, so that's the hinge on. Not bad. We've got to take this over to the opening, to the frame. What we call offer it up, and then mark where those hinges are on the frame, and then they have to be cut. When hanging an interior door like this one, you'll need to leave a 2mm gap at the top. The easiest way to do this is to place a couple of coins on the top of the door and place a packer between the door and the floor until they are held in place. That's spot on. See, that's a packer there now. When the door is in position, mark where the hinges will sit on the door frame. Then take the door away while you cut the recesses for the hinges. No, they go in my pocket, yeah. How do you think I got them in the first place? And what we're going to do is we're going to have to take off one of these hinges now to use as a template up there. And I want you to do your best, because I'm going to judge these after. I mean, who's going to have the top and who's going to have the bottom?
Bottom. Top.
You're going for the top? Right. That's a wise selection. Okay, no, I can't tell. You've got the line, so you have to align it. Now, I've got to go and do some stuff outside, so I'll leave you to it.
Right. Okay.
Good luck. Actually, that was a lie. I'm not going outside. I'm just popping upstairs, and I'll be keeping a close eye on my trainees with my secret spy monitor.
Good.
I'm wicked, really. Okay, that great big chisel. But in actual fact, it's easier to use a big chisel than it is to use a small one. Oh, watch your fingers. Oh.
No.
She's holding it all wrong. She should be holding it by the handle. This is not an easy challenge for anyone to do. Cutting a hinge in, to make a good job of it, it might seem very, very simple. But it does take a lot of practice to get it right. Well, appears that Lucy's finished her one. They haven't checked it yet with the hinge, which is what they're supposed to do. He's got a few bits in there. He's got to clean it up a little bit. And neither of them have tested it with the hinge, which is what they've got to do to make sure they're at the right depth. That looks a tad messy. Right, that's all the screws in. I think we should go down before they attempt to fit the door into the frame and just check what they've done. Hold on, guys, can I come in? Just before, I just want to make sure that I had a little inspection of this before you covered up the evidence.
Oh, we almost got away with it.
The fact that this is chipped away there, I'll allow that. Now let's have a look at your one then. Well, that's not bad. That's a nice depth, but you could do done with cleaning that up a little bit more. And you obviously checked with the hinge to make sure that it fit and the depth was right.
I don't think we did do that.
I don't think we did.
Ah, so you're overly confident this is going to go straight on there without any more adjustment?
Yes.
Well, spoken like a true hero. Okay, let's go for it. Not too deep with the drill, a bit more. Fix the hinges to the frame, but just use one screw in each hinge until you're happy that the door swings properly. That's it, they're all in line. Take the chocks out.
Okay.
Well, it hasn't fallen off. Let's see if it swings. Hold on a minute, what happened there? Well, it swings. It's binding on the floor. Now
Is that our fault?
it could be that the floor's out. We can easily test it. Let's put a level on there and see. You'll be very pleased to know that the door is hanging perfectly. I think really we should celebrate now. I mean, do you drink?
Not really.
You don't drink?
No.
Well, that solved it. Right, so we're going to have a cup of tea. That's all from us. See you next time for some more DIY.
I think my do-it-yourself skills have improved immeasurably today because they were almost non-existent. So I'm excited to try as many things as I did.
Before today, I've not used a chisel or a power drill. All I've been capable of is just putting undercoat of paint on walls.
Tommy went through a whole series of complex things that I knew I was going to have to follow. I said, oh, there's no way I could do it. And so the greatest sense of accomplishment was finishing that task.